The Health-Wealth Divide, Part 4 of 6, Stress Management. Why ultra-high net worth individuals can be surprisingly unhealthy and how wealth secretly undermines the 6 pillars of health. He flew back to London after spending a week in the Amazon forest, claiming it was the most profound experience of his life. An ayahuasca ceremony, guided by shamans, transformative visions, ego death, rebirth, the whole journey. 2 weeks later, he was standing at the white cliffs of Dover, thinking about throwing himself off. He had relapsed. I have another friend who flew to California with his wife for ketamine treatments. Premium clinic, expert guides, cutting-edge protocols. They came home and relapsed too. Both of them. They thought they could take a drug, do a hack, find a shortcut. They couldn't. Sustainable recovery follows safety. That sounds obvious, but we almost never find it that way, especially in high-achieving families where pressure is the air you breathe. When the nervous system feels unsafe, it goes into survival mode. You might get compliance. You won't get transformation. Wealth can buy you top clinicians, retreats, and protocols, but if someone is living in shame, secrecy, and perfectionism, none of that intelligence can land. The nervous system can't take it in. That's why people can have a profound week in the jungle and still come home to relapse. They return to old behaviors, not because the experience wasn't real, but because insight is not the same thing as regulation. And regulation isn't spiritual, it's biological. The stress paradox. Here's what you'd expect. Wealth should make stress easier to manage. The access is obvious. The best therapists, elite coaches, month-long silent retreats, psychedelic trips, ketamine clinics, cold plunges, breathwork facilitators, nervous system reset programs, meditation apps designed by neuroscientists. Optimal mental health should, in theory, be possible. So why are so many privileged people still wound tight? And why, when things go wrong, do they end up worse than when they started? Because all those solutions are being dropped onto a dysregulated nervous system. When you feel safe, your brain can reflect, connect, change. That's when stress management stops being a wellness accessory and becomes something more like infrastructure. Because stress management is not calm vibes. It's the ability to come back, the return to the place where your thinking brain can go back online. The distortions. 1. Addition, not subtraction. I've hired coaches who were slick marketers. They charged an arm and a leg. They sold me courses, frameworks, systems. What worked for them would work for me. They added more items to my to-do list. That's not coaching. That's consulting in disguise. The coaching industry became a marketplace for selling answers, and wealthy people are perfect targets. We're used to paying premium for expertise. We want solutions now, and we're deeply uncomfortable with I don't know, which is exactly where the real work starts. Real coaching holds space while you find your own answers, but you can keep buying answers forever. Each new solution creates more threat, not safety. More to track, more to perform, more ways to fail, more evidence that you're still not doing it right. The nervous system hears all of this as still not safe, still need to fix something. The real answer? Subtract, simplify, sit with discomfort. It's the one thing money can't buy you out of. Stewardship move, stop collecting and start doing. 2. The shortcut delusion. In a wealthy person's life, so much can be shortcut. Fly private, hire the best, throw money at it. So healing can get treated the same way. What's the hack? The industry sells it hard. The retreat is your breakthrough. This medicine will unlock your trauma. But these are powerful interventions. They require preparation, screening, support, and months of integration. Wealth lets you skip all of that. My friend at the White Cliffs thought ayahuasca was the shortcut. It almost killed him. The ketamine couple thought medicine was the hack. It made things worse. Because you do the work daily for years in your kitchen on a Tuesday when nothing feels profound and nobody is watching. Regulation takes time. Your nervous system doesn't shift from threat to safety because you had a breakthrough. It shifts because you've practiced safety so consistently that your body finally believes you. Stewardship move. No shortcuts, daily practice, hard and boring work. 3. Coaches who open wounds they can't close. Here's what most people don't know. Coaching is not therapy, and wealthy people can hire coaches who market deep transformational work without being trained to handle trauma, addiction, or crisis when it surfaces. The distinction matters. Evidence-based treatment follows clinical guidelines. The American Psychological Association has published clinical practice guidelines for PTSD treatment. That's not a vibe. It's a standard of care. A qualified trauma clinician knows how to assess, pace, stabilize, and monitor risk. They know when someone needs a higher level of care. They know what integration actually means. Unqualified coaches don't. So what happens? People get cracked open, then sent home with journaling prompts. From a nervous system perspective, that is not healing. That is threat. I'm ICF-certified and Mayo-trained, and I care about this line. A good coach stays in scope, knows when to refer out, knows what they don't know. Stewardship move: trauma equals trained clinician. Growth equals coach. Skills equals trainer. Solutions equals consultant. Don't let anyone blur these lines. Bias and control. Many helpers bring their own money issues into the room. They judge wealthy clients. They project. They resent. They keep it subtle, but the body can feel it. And nervous system safety is relational. If you feel judged, your system reads threat. In threat, you can't do the work. And there's the control problem. Some coaches and therapists try to control their clients instead of trusting the process. They have the framework, the method, the answer. For wealthy clients, this is gasoline on the fire because control is often the addiction underneath the addiction. Real healing moves toward the middle. Stewardship instead of hyper-control. Uncertainty instead of certainty. Presence instead of performance. If your helper needs to control you, you don't get safer. You get better at performing. Stewardship move: find helpers who don't need to control you and don't need to punish you for your reality. The invisible risk. Wealth makes healing feel purchasable. You can hire anyone. The slick marketer, the unqualified coach, the retreat center, the medicine. And when it doesn't work or harms you, you're left with one thought: I was supposed to be able to buy my way out of this. The real work is different. Stay put. Go deep. Subtract. Don't add. Show up daily for years with no certificate, no peak experience, no dinner party story. Just tomorrow, again, when you don't want to, and none of it works if your nervous system doesn't feel safe enough to receive it. The stewardship move: create safety, then do the work. The American College of Lifestyle Medicine defines stress as arising from, quote, the interplay between the subjective and objective. External circumstances aren't always controllable, but your response to them is modifiable. That's where resilience is built. I'm still working this out myself, but here's what 20 years of recovery have taught me. Hire the right help. Trauma equals trained clinician. Growth equals real coach. Skills equals trainer. Solutions equals consultant. If you have 3 coaches, 2 therapists, and monthly retreats, you're shopping, not healing. Pick one, go deep, stay put. Not all retreats are the same. The Meadows Rio Retreat runs a survivor program built on Pia Melody's model, led by clinical psychologists, grounded in psychodrama, designed to go where talk therapy can't reach. It's a retreat, but you do the work, that's the difference. And sometimes the most powerful room has no price tag at all. 12-step meetings have been helping people regulate, connect, and stay honest for nearly a century. No certificate, no protocol, just people who've been there, showing up for each other, Tuesday after Tuesday. Subtract and practice daily. The medicine doesn't do the work, you do. What can you remove? Simplify. Create space. Every subtraction tells your nervous system, we're not performing anymore. Psychiatrist Judd Brewer has a simple starting point. Get curious. Where's the stress? Not why, where? In your chest, your jaw, your shoulders. Curiosity interrupts the habit loop before it takes over. You can't think your way out of stress, but you can get interested in it, and that changes the relationship. 6 months of small, consistent practice beats one dramatic experience every time. Family systems matter. Families are where nervous systems learn threat or safety. Regulation is restored through co-regulation, not consequences, not lectures. Psychiatrist Constant Mouton, who is coming on the podcast in a few weeks, calls it staying inside the window of tolerance, the zone where you're regulated enough to think clearly and connected enough to relate well. He gets there through small daily things. Slowing his breath before hard conversations, walking without his phone, noticing when he's activated and pausing instead of reacting. If I want to help others regulate, he says, I have to practice it myself first. That's the model. Not dramatic, not purchased, just consistent. The question I wish more high-functioning families asked, is this person regulated enough to change? Because if not, all your plans are just strategy dropped onto a body that can't receive it. Wealth doesn't change what humans need to heal. It just makes it easier to avoid the real work by buying the appearance of wellness. Stress isn't something you optimize, it's something you learn to be with, and until it teaches you what you actually need. And no amount of money can shortcut that. Next in the series, social connection. Why wealth creates isolation even as it offers unlimited social opportunity. If this episode landed for you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. But here's the real thing I want you to know. If you're carrying something you can't talk about, if you have every resource except someone who actually understands what wealth costs, I work one-on-one with people like you navigating exactly that. You can reach me at dianaoehrli.com. Thanks for listening.